owners using divers tech to check ships' holds for mines.
Contracts.
Using divers tech to check.
Are you guys hear me in YouTube land? Please let me know. Sorry for the late start here. Anybody hear me? Thank you, Jim Thomas. All right, I'll be back in a minute after this disclaimer.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial suitability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, factuals, websites, and videos ATM websites for digital payments or for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit by losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept full responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment in most Apple Trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without preservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any account is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses or material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may not or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results at all, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
Also, I'm managing director Phil Giver on G20.
This trade room and this webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or give specific trade recommendations. Analysis and setups I share are trades and potential trades that I'm taking for myself based on my personal analysis. The goal of this room is to teach traders how to identify specific areas to trade within it for themselves, ultimately the decision is yours. Trading is extremely risky. If you decide to make trades, you sell your own risk, and potentially lose your entire account in more. And now it's profitable and have $13 on the trading account. The spreadsheet that access to my personal spreadsheet $13 the year, and I'll be the exact prices for my trades. You can see when I add there's no price into the master spreadsheet, just upload the price for your trades whether you want to walk or show. You can delete a copy of the spreadsheet and use the money to confirm zone prices until you're able to draw the zone yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction trade is, the prices and stop prices will long short positions depending on the trading
Overall
position.
risks are to the downside in most.
Alright guys, sorry for the late start. A little crazy here.
So with regards to penny home sales, declined to the lowest record in January.
Alright, I got these tick strikes. They got a new download. They're not working like I want them to. They're very loud, so I may have to X out of this. Let me try this camera, see if this works. Select it on Discord. On here. Alright, let's see. Okay, you guys got my gorgeous face there, I think. Maybe. Yeah, it looks like you got me. Alright. Alright, so a lot was going on here. I got smushed on a reversion sexy Gexy here. I couldn't see the relative volume at the time. My Sierra charts messed up, and I'll go over that in a little bit. I'm trying to connect it to a different data feed. Anyway, I took one and I just got killed, and I shouldn't even have taken it into these Gex levels. We'll go over these trades like what they are, but took it into this. It was heavy relative volume. Intel was, Nvidia was getting killed. Relative volume. You don't want to be playing these Gex trades with heavy relative volume, and I just got killed. I lost like $1,400 on that trade, and then I did catch this one right before I hopped on here. this reversion off these GEX levels here. You can see. So again, we'll go over this trade, but and actually, stuff was happening so fast here. I traded to that one. I should have combined these two events, and actually wouldn't even put that on. So I kind of got lucky there, but I got out right at the zone there for the reversion off of these guys. So we'll go over these trades, but a lot of stuff's flying off the handle here. And then I had I took this A+ reversion in gold. I got out right before the number. It did retest though. We'll go again. We're going to go over all these trades for your newer traders in here, but this was a reversion trade back to the zone out. So I got that one, and then I was short wheat. We'll go over these trades like I said, but I got out of this too. It was at the blue look, so this was a bark and lick off of this guy. So I'll be going over different trades here: position trades, reversion trades, maybe sexy gexies. And what I'm referring to are these trading strategies here. So this is what I'm referring to. So I have position trading strategies that I'm taking for bigger type moves. I might have to turn this thing off. Like I can't connect these anymore. Things going off. Hold on here. Hopefully that'll help. Position trading strategies where I'm going for bigger moves, where I have distinct patterns off the zones before I get in, and these are these lines, that I'll be showing you off the zone drawing tool. Again, looks like there's a lot on this chart, but once you understand what it is, it's it's not as confusing at all. All right, so first of all, I'm going to combine this zone, which I should have at the time. I just got lucky on this one. So again, when events fire off, so we have an event, a specific SI event that I named called double whammy, when you get the dumb money puke into the waiting hands of the buy ice, right? So this was this here. So I just didn't have time to combine these, but these should have been combined here into one zone, and I can still put trades on off of this depending on what happens here. Just want to make sure this is correct. That looks right. I guess I still would have taken this. So again, the reversion trade is where we're playing for trades back to the volume event, which happens nonstop, especially when it's running into a level where you're going to get a reaction from traders or dealers. These were the gamma levels. So this one wasn't really a back in black, but the one ATR reversion was right at these levels. So I probably would have put that on anyway. Wouldn't have had such. I mean, I would have been in down here too. So whatever. I caught the trade, but it was off that stop zone. So anyway, this has confirmed as a bearish event. I think. Let's see here. I'm getting a lot of freezes here. No. So this has not confirmed as a bearish event, right? So the way I judge these volume events. So the volume events are the core of my trading. Buy ice and stop runs, right? It's the markets revolve around these events. All right, I want to possibly take some gexies here coming back up here because there's a lot of traders underwater here that held during that down move. That down move was vicious. So this is through the GEX level. So again, I'm going over different trading strategies here. We have a trading strategy where we trade at these GEX level. These are Menther Q levels or spot gamma levels. They're where these dealers need to hedge, right? So there's great trades to be had when you get volume events into these levels to fade, because you already know the options dealers are going to be hedging their positions there. And then when you get a volume event, an opposing volume event, even better. So, meaning a reversal type event. So if this was already through this level, so I'm not taking that one. But if I got one like right in here, I would take that one. Again, we do have other trades here that I can take off of this. A couple other trades. We have the reversion trade. So there's something in this in what I'm doing for every type of trader, right? So the position trading strategies for traders that love to hold on to trades, which there aren't many on the planet, right? Because it's such a hard thing to do because of the whipsaw stuff. But that's where you get your biggest rewards, when you get the big moves. We have those strategies. Then we have these auto fade strategies. That's what I was talking about, sexy gexy, where we're taking. I never got CL's been all over the place too. Something came out. It was the tariff thing. Like, you know, Trump talks every 5 minutes about tariffs. I'm not understanding why the market continues to react. I mean, it's the same news, the same headline every single time, and the market reacts like it's new news. Like, he's been talking tariffs for 3 weeks now, and every time he opens his mouth about it, the market acts like it's some new event, and it's wreaking havoc on the markets. Obviously, you just got to hope you're not on the wrong side of the trade. Anyway, we have these auto fade strategies where I'm getting in the minute I hear an event. Most of my trades are waiting for the move out of the zone. We'll go over that. And then we have the reversion strategies where we wait for the market to move. You can either take them aggressively. So this is the zone drawing tool. I'll put this in. Let me put this in the chat right now before I forget. So these are all the things that I'm using in my trading. And you can get discounts to all this stuff as well. I'll put this in the chat, YouTube, and I'll put it in Discord as well. I'll get to the questions too. Someone put in a question. I'll put this in here too. There's just so many channels in this Bookmap Discord. Where is that? Okay, there you go. So anyway, the zone drawing tool is drawing these events that are happening, these stop iceberg events that I was talking about earlier that you're seeing down here. Well, now we got it drawing on the thing, so you don't have to draw manually. If you watch my webinars for the last 8 years, I was drawing these manually, which takes forever, and it's a huge pain in the ass, especially to watch. So a developer in my trade room has figured out a way to draw these off of that information, and then we have all our data here where we get in, where we get out for the reversion trades. So you can see these dashed lines here. I mean, these dotted lines are the ATR reversions, right? So this is the one ATR. So this is just a 5-minute ATR we're trading. You can see it over here. So right now the ATR in NASDAQ is almost 60. That's extremely heightened. So this is the kind of day that all you traders out there that love your static trades where you say, when I trade NASDAQ, I put on, I love to make, I love to risk 10 points to make 20. Yeah, good luck risking 10 points when the ATR is 58. You are very likely going to get stopped out just on a sneeze in this market because the volatility is so high. That's why you shouldn't have static anything. You should be adapting to the ATR, and that's what we do. That's what I do in my trade room. We adapt to the volatility. So we adapt. So this is part of the pro version of the drawing tool where you get these 8 reversion trades, which we'll hopefully take here. And then you get your position sizing too. So the position sizing, these are some of the biggest reasons why traders fail. They trade too big for their account size. They don't know how much to put on. They don't know where to get in, where to get out if they have an opinion, so on and so forth. So the biggest one is protecting your account. So this will tell you, so for instance, I'm risking $500 per trade on my position trades. So this is based off the position trading, this top part of it. So right now, if I put on a position trade based on where I get in and get out, and we may do that here, I got to see where we're at here. I can only put on 0.2 of a volt contract. Well, you can't put on 0.2. You can put on 2 micros, right? So that's just how it is. This is what the volatility is telling me I could put on to risk $500, right? So it all adjusts. And then these are the reversion quantities I could put on to risk $500. Right, I'm just going to pass on CL right now because it's all over the place, and you can see there's just event after event after event. This does look like an A+ reversion for my trading room. Well, let's see. Maybe we'll take this. It's hard to pass up on A+ reversions. Yeah, the entry was down here for the A+. So an A+ reversion is when, I'm just talking about the reversion lines. Here's the 5-minute ATR for, actually, it already did it. So this was an A+ reversion winner. Hopefully my room caught it, right? So they already do this. These markets come back to these zones with ridiculous regularity. And then when you have something, either remember we were talking about GEX levels, this was both. This was a back in black off of this GEX level. And it was, you could have traded off of, because there's traders caught in this area. When it comes back, they went out and it causes the move back to the zone as well. On top of it already coming back to the zone all the time. So anyway, this is A+. A+ means your entry is before or into the prior event as long as your stop is outside of it. That was up there. You get in and you get out when it comes back to the zone. It's a great scalping type trade for those of you that love to scalp, which is what most traders like to do, again, because they can't sit through the position trades. So this was not a back in black for me, but you can see this bounced right off of this X1. This is the highest gamma level, meaning where these dealers are loaded up the most in options where they have to hedge themselves. And you can see right back to the zone. So I'll still take back in blacks. It has not gotten out of here to these confirmation areas. So I can still take it, but I'm just giving you an example of what we're trading off of. From different strategies, this is the back in black. This was not, but that's what we look for, right? So if this popped up to this blind spot gamma level and started coming back, I would take the 1 ATR back to the zone. So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. As far as position trading strategies, we got the event. These were buy stops. It hasn't shown its hand yet, meaning is it bullish or bearish? How do I determine that? Well, from watching 4.2 million of these over the last 8 years, I've determined the best way to trade these for most of my strategies is wait for it to show its hand, meaning if it can get, yes, the ATR out of the zone. Once it has the strength to push that far out of the zone, either way, it tells me that it has a better chance of continuing that direction based on, again, just watching so many of these. So I don't know what this is, whether I'm going to go long or potential longs or potential shorts until this thing can verify itself out of the zone, right? So, and then when it does, then I get in outside of an ATR to help stop, because again, we're just talking about the reversion trades. Well, the algos love to snap it back to the volume events. Well, I try to not get in right at the ATR or right before it for my position trades. That's what this yellow line is. That's where I get in the trade, and then if I'm going to stop out, I stop out down here. And I always hear the groans, well, that's just, you're risking too much, you're eroding your R. I understand that, but it's the best way to avoid. You see all this Christmas tree looking stuff? These are algos that know nothing's going on now, and they're starting to whipsaw people, right? So if I'm going to get in, it's got to push all the way out of here, and if I'm going to get stopped out, once I get in, say I was getting long, I force it to come all the way back here because I'm making these markets come back the full ATR through the volume event where traders are caught, and another ATR outside of the zone, plus for me to be stopped out of the trade. So this all adjusts with the sizing, right? Again, I would love to, so we do have 2 trades that you get in right and smack dab in the middle of the zone, and one when it just breaks the zone. We'll go over these. But, most of these trades, I would love to just jump in right away, but I learned the hard way. That's just not a good enough edge. All right, we're at the 1 ATR here. So if this bounces off this blind spot, I'm going to take this back in black coming back, and this is there. You just heard Bookmap Bob there. That's what we call the talking dude. Guys, I can't even look at crude right now. There's too much going on here. This just qualified as a long setup. So let's just see what we had here. I might have to turn these things off. They're way too loud, and I don't know how to turn these down. This is the new version of Tick Strike. I just don't know how to do that. I might have to turn them down. I need them. I want them. I've used Tick Strike for 13 years, but it's just too loud. Hold on. Maybe on this main one I can turn it down. Let's see here. Oh, maybe that's why it's at 100%. There we go. All right. I can handle that. All right, here we are at the blind spot. This comes back. I'm putting on this back in black. If this holds, if it blows right through, I'm not. It's not bouncing off this level, right? Like that. There's no trade there.
The US stocks extend gains. Dow Jones up 1%.
U.S. stocks extend gains. That's what he just said. Really, they're extending gains. Looks like they're down to me. I mean, that was. Yeah, I'm not sure what he means by that. Maybe short-term gains. Anyway, that's too far for me to take this back in black trade off of this area, right? So now what I'm looking at is this X2 level, right? So say this rips up here. This is the reversion trade I'm referring to now. Let me check to see if I should be in a position trade first and foremost. That stop run was what? So this was a buy stop run that held. Let's call it a stop and hold. One of my 6 distinct setups. This was right around 21.069. Yeah, there was nothing here as far as there was no inflection zone. So all my trading strategies are looking for volume events in my important areas. My important areas are inflection zones, Ludwig levels, market profile composites. That's what all these are, right? So I'm just looking for a volume event in an important area. There's nothing for that. So these were my trades earlier. I took it on the chin on. I took these trades right into that tariff talk, and then I caught a couple of these coming down. So that was the weed, and I caught the Nasdaq. I missed another Nasdaq too. We'll go over that, but that's what I've done so far. And then I caught a couple back in blacks here. Let's see. I don't even know when I'm up here. I thought it was more than that. So on this one, I'm trading. These are live, the Apex stuff, but they all qualify, and these are live.
It's about 5 minutes to go to
I caught a couple. That was at A+, and then I caught a couple reversion trades. I just want to make sure I don't have anything on here because that's my MO. I didn't do anything here. Just make sure this. I don't have anything on. My MO is for getting orders in the order book and then looking, and I see I lost $5,000. That's not very fun. All right, so I'm just looking for important levels here. This is all screwed up here. That I tried to connect, because I always tell you guys, I'm always looking to save money too, where I don't have to spend it, right? So I have these Apex accounts. I actually connected to Top Step too, because I'm trying out these other ones too. I just want to compare them to see, who pays quicker, stuff like that, so I can give information for my traders. But my main one is Apex. Is always I've been using them for 3 years. We'll go over that, but so that wasn't working as the connection. I have a live account, a live trading account with a trading firm that I tried to hook up to this. Wouldn't work through Rhythmic. And Sierra chart just can't help me. It's a complete joke. Then I tried the Apex, that wouldn't work. Then I tried Top Step. It works, but it keeps giving me this ridiculous download thing. If I touch the chart, then it starts to download again. So, and you can see now it's not even giving me real-time information. So this is an absolute joke. I have my own personal accounts that I trade as well. One of them has nothing in it because I've been doing all this Apex stuff and with the trading firm. But I don't want to, because the way the CME works, like if I did it right now, 2 days before the end of the month or 3 days before the end of the month, whatever the day is today, I get charged today and then I get charged again on the first of the month. So now I got to just basically live through this nonsense with this. And Sierra chart is just, the support is an absolute joke. Like it's a decent program. I use it for the relative volume, which we'll go over, and I use it for market profile. But you have to do everything yourself. The support acts like you're a jackass if you contact them. It's just. And then they can't give you. I'm waiting 4 days for an answer on why this data doesn't work. So sorry, I had to vent there.
UBS says
all right. Did this already retest? So again, for me, guys, I don't feel like this was. You got to use some discretion here when it gets to these levels. It is pretty volatile. The ATR is only 60, which is ridiculous. That's a little too far through this to take the back and black trade, right? So I did not take that one. If you did, said, that's good enough, it's starting to react there, then you could have taken that. I didn't take the back and black reversion trade here, back to the zone. If this rips up higher, I will definitely watch this one. That's the second highest GEX level on the board. Then I would take the 2, the 1, back to the zone. Now, if it comes back to the zone right now, right, I don't have that one on, then I'm done with those reversion trades. The whole idea is looking for the first retest of the zone. So I don't keep taking them, right? Like if it'll retest, sometimes it keeps retesting, but it's just, I'm looking for the first retest and I'm out of the trade. Don't have anything on here. I'll keep an eye here. As far as longs, there's nothing for me to go long on as far as my areas. I don't see anything market profile composite. I don't see anything on my inflection zones. It'd be great if this would update. I can't see my Ludwig levels right now. It'd be great if these things connected together, and they don't. So they just changed this. They may. I just don't know how to use this yet. The new tick strike. There's nothing market profile composite. Let's just make sure this is not real time either. So this is what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to switch to the Sierra chart. It's delayed, but at least I'm not. It doesn't matter. I'm not getting the right data anyway. It's an absolute joke. So let's try this. Okay, it's worthless to me anyway. Where is it? Sierra chart data. All right, so that's going to take about a minute to come in, but at least I'll get the proper lugs, so on and so forth. All right. So right now I'm just looking for back and blacks. As far as trading strategies, position trading strategies, This has confirmed as a bullish event. Let's see if we have barks and licks trading strategy. It is. So those are alive. Algo guy, actually, I got to change this. So this is an exponential moving average. We use this as a filter for the bark and lick trades because they're so active. I'll go over that. But on a day like today, 25 ticks is not enough. You see how it's like just the morning is covering the entire screen. This is not wide enough of a, because it's so volatile, right? So I'm going to change this to a 50 tick algo guy for my room if you're watching. Let's make this 50 ticks. See what that looks like. Right, that's better. You kind of got to eyeball it, but I just know a 60 ATR is almost unheard of, and you don't want a 25 tick. 50 tick might not be enough, but it looks okay, right? So you want your day to be like within this time, like it's not like covering the whole day, not covering the whole screen. This one had the morning covering the screen, so this looks right. This just crossed. So algo guy is bullish. What does that mean? I use that for my bark and lick trades. What's a bark and lick trade? So I remember I just said I look for these volume events in important areas to take my trades. Well, the edge is inherent in the volume event, right? Meaning I want to take advantage of the volume event, whether it's an important area or not, but I have specific rules to take those trades. And now we're spiking here. I don't understand what's going on. It's like technology lately has just been unbelievable. So let me know where the NASDAQ is. It'd be good to know. I mean, is someone talking or something? Why is this freezing up like this? I don't know why this is freezing. Okay, it's back. All right. So anyway, the bark and lick are the same trade pattern. You look for the ATR, which we got right there, the blue line. That's that sweet 60.5 ATR, a retest, which it's doing right now. It's about to. And then if it confirms again back out, that's where I take those trades. Bark and lick are the same trade. The difference is the bark I will get out at certain areas as it tags them, get out of some of my position if it fails at certain areas. The lick I will hold until it gets to the major resting liquidity. So let's see if we got that. Not seeing a ton of lick. It's harder to see with these GEX levels. I'm not seeing a lot of liquidity though. Above here. Let's see if we got any below. Looks like the big money just pulled everything today, so they don't get their asses handed to them, get run over. There was some liquidity here, so that, this is a great example. This was long. This is what is described as long-term resting liquidity. I don't know why this is so delayed, guys. Like this is crazy. Like I always say, trading's hard enough, and you got to worry about the freezes. So anyway, this just retested. Again, I did not take this trade. For me, I felt this was too far through the GEX level to take the 1 ATR, but it did retest. If this ever gets done freezing, hey, there it is. Yeah. All right, so if this comes back, I'm going to put on bark. I'll put on a lick too. There is liquidity up here, so we'll watch it. You see this? You can't see it because of the GEX level, but I was showing you here before this thing froze up on me. Like this is the definition of resting liquidity right here. It's like I can't move my chart without the thing freezing. See all that? So these markets, it's a magnet. It's not, oh, there's someone wants to buy here, I want to go long. It's no, someone leaves their orders in, they're okay with having it rip right through. That means they want to get filled. So that means, and if they want to get filled, the big money wants to get filled, they're going to get filled, right? It doesn't mean right that second, but they're going to get filled. So that's why we trade to those areas. I just don't see a ton above like that, but this is brutal. This freeze is brutal. I mean, I do have a lot of things going, so if I contact Bookmap support right now, they're going to tell me, oh, you got 85 indicators on. It's not usually this bad. It's pretty volatile. That's the problem. And I'm watching 15 markets, and I've got all the indicators on all the markets, so we just got to deal with it. I mean, meaning you got to deal with me bitching about it the entire time, but that's the way it is. All right, so you see, I haven't done anything with this yet, right? Because this does not fit my pattern for the position trades. There was nothing for me to go long except for bark and lick, and I wait for the ATR retest confirm. It hasn't confirmed back out of here. I don't have a trade. Short-wise, there's nothing for me to do off of this particular event because it's already confirmed as a bullish event. That's how I determine, right? As far as A-plus reversions here, so the definition of an A-plus reversion is when you get the event and then another event. It stays within the event, meaning it doesn't get the ATR. It comes back, then you have your reversion lines in the prior event or just before, as long as the stop is out. We already looked at one of those earlier. I don't like when the market tags an ATR above and then comes back, and you're hoping it comes back again. Something's up if this thing hits the ATR and can't go. You don't want to be standing in front of that. So the trading firm that has this running automated is not taking that into consideration and is doing fine. But the point is, it's not the best trade. I just like the perfect A+ trade is when you get event, it just stays in that pretty close to that event, comes back down, you get in, get out when it comes back. So again, if you're new watching these, you're probably like, what is this guy talking about? It's not that technical once you understand. Hold on here, a couple. Let's see. And guys, I try to look at the Bookmap Discord, but I don't see it. You're better off putting questions in the YouTube. All right, so if this comes back, as long as this doesn't disqualify, this is still a potential long, bark and lick, as long as it doesn't tag the ATR below. All right, so if this comes back, I will put on those trades while we're waiting. Ikeel. Hello, Scott. Have you ever considered utilizing a volume profile for specifically iceberg and stop loss volume? I don't even know how I would do that. And I don't look at volume profile. I look at market profile that shows more the time periods, because I look at enough volume. I don't want more volume. And I'm not saying volume profile isn't important, you guys. And that's the other thing too. It's not for me to say. So we were talking about my important areas, right? So when you come in my trade room and I talk about them the entire time while I'm on the webinars. When I talk about my important areas, that's these. I pay myself as a market, and this is where I put on trades too, at these levels, Ludwig levels, market profile composites, highs, lows, VWAP extremes, zones, ISI zones, same day prior rep. So these are my important areas. It's not for me to say what you deem is important. If you've been looking at something for 5 years and you're like, that I love this level, I love this Bollinger Band, I love this Fibonacci, great. All I'm saying is make sure you get a volume event that is confirming what you think it's going to be. So if you're looking at a support level, great. Make sure you get a volume event there first and foremost, and then make sure that volume event is bullish. All right, speaking of that, I'm going to put these in so I don't miss this. My entry for these bark and lick longs, 21, 140, 175. I don't know if someone's talking or not. I keep hearing that squawk, dude.
Regards to Chinese stocks listed US Fed declining, Trump's announcement of additional.
So with this volatility, all I can put on is 2.2 micros. Risk it $500. All right, who keeps texting me? I keep hearing the thing go off. I don't know where that's coming from. And guys in my trade room, unless it's something really important, pressing, don't tag me, because then I get distracted like I am right now. So don't tag me unless it's something like I'm messing something up or missing something or whatever. All right, entry here, and you can see it here too. Long aggressive, 44 right now. I can put on 2. What I also do is I'll put on bigger size if my thesis is in line with the volume event. I have no opinion right here. We'll go over what my opinion may be, but hold on, guys. It's ridiculous. 44 bark. Lick. All right, those orders are working. Have not been filled yet. That's why I put it out here. You see how it bounced right off this ATR? That's why I forced the market to get outside the ATR to enter, so I don't get algoed the best I can. Right. So I'll put on bark and lick longs here. And again, guys, the trades I'm putting on, this is not trade recommendations. I got to start saying that more. I say it in the disclaimer before. It's not a trade recommendation. It's trades that I am taking on my own with my personal stuff that I have deemed to take. It's not telling you to take them. And that's the other thing about these webinars. They're not meant to mirror my trades, just mindlessly mirroring my trades. You want to learn how to do this for yourself, because I can get in a trade and I could be in the spark and lick, and my target could be up here or right here. I'm out. You're like, oh, I didn't know you got out, and then it comes all the way back, and you get stopped out, right? So, this is not to mirror my trades. It's to learn how to do it for yourself, which you want to do anyway. You're never going to make consistent money copying somebody's trades. It's not going to happen, right? So, learn. You should want to learn to do it for yourself anyway, so you'd have something, for the rest of your life that you don't have to work for the man. I think I know where that was coming. I know where that noise was coming from. All right. So anyway, I got that working. No fill there. I'm kind of sick of watching that. There's not been one event unless I missed some merges here in ES. I know how much you guys love staring at this crappy market. Let's see here. You did have some bias here earlier. So the rule of thumb. So when I'm talking about events, this was I could have merged these. I just didn't see this, right? This is when stuff was going crazy. I have thresholds, meaning important enough volume, concentration of volume to trade these areas. I don't just trade every blip. Hold on, that was natural gas. I might take a 60 Gexi in here if it's warranted. And this is the other thing too, you need to be watching more markets if you have the bandwidth, because you're costing yourself opportunity, right? If you're staring at ES for the last month, you've got about 5 events in the last month, it feels like, right? Nothing goes on, go to another market. This is all the same stuff. We're looking at volume, we're looking at trap traders, we're taking advantage of these traders that are wrong in these areas. That's all we're doing, right? All right. So anyway, what I was saying is we have specific thresholds for these events that are tradable. How did I come up with the thresholds? Because I've watched 4.2 million of these things, right? And this threshold has been the exact same since day one, 2018 or whatever is when I started using this stuff, when I started to use the SI indicator, right? So 700 is trade worthy in the ES, 700 icebergs. 500 stops are trade worthy. You're going to get instances, especially I'm on reset mode, so it resets at the exact minute there, right? You're going to get instances where it doesn't pick up or draw or announce because it cuts off at the minute. That doesn't mean that this isn't one iceberg, it just cuts off, so you got to keep an eye on it. Yes, I could use the sliding version. I just like this better. I used sliding in the beginning and it had a bug at the time, and I like the reset because it's more defined, but you got to keep an eye out for this. So like this was 500, this was 800. I don't like drawing zones if they're barely at threshold. This is pretty close, but it's 800, so I could have drawn this, and let's just see what happened here, right? And that's the other thing too. You want to know how to draw these zones by hand, so the times it doesn't draw with the zone drawer, you can come in here and adjust it, right? So you'll find out where it spiked. I go over this in my trading course too. Right, you can see how this spiked here, and it kept coming in. It kept tagging this. Triggered buy ice, tagged it, triggered buy ice. So icebergs are just hidden orders in the order book that are not displayed. They only have to display a portion of that, a percentage of what they want to do. So for instance, this was 500. They probably only had 50 showing in the order book because they don't want to put in their big size because the algos runs it away from that size, trying to make them chase it. So they put in these hidden orders. They pay more to the exchange to hide their orders. We get to see what they're doing, which you would think, well, if they're paying the exchange to hide their orders, then why can we see what they're doing? And my theory is this happened about 8 years ago when they came out. CME started to offer the MBO data, the market by order data, market by order MBO, where they're letting traders see this activity. And at that time, back in 2016, 2017, the retail trader was dying, right? Like, because these algos were just crushing everybody, and it was shark eat shark. So I think, this is just my opinion. I think the CME did it to throw the retail trader a bone. Like, let's give them a little information so they stay in the game. So these big, our lifeline, the big money who generates the most commissions, can stay in business. That's just a total guess, but regardless, we get the information, and it's the most powerful information I've ever seen. So you guys hear me say it day in and day out. I've been trading 25 years, so you might want to listen to me. And even if you don't, you can go in here and you can go back and rerun the days and check it out for yourself. And you will agree with me, I will promise. All right, so I got that first one in. So once it starts flatline, you don't have to draw it anymore. I mean, it's not, you don't have to increase the prices or decrease the prices. And then it popped in here again. That was up here. You see on the crosshair, and then it came up here. That was a spike. This was a spike down here, right? Just make sure this is right here. One more tick there. There you go. So again, this is already done. I'm just showing. I want to see. I guarantee I missed a trade here because that's what always happens. But this was when this stuff was going. What time is it? Yeah, this is when stuff was going nuts too. So it was right after the open. Yeah. So I don't know what but there was no Gexy, sexy Gexy or anything like that. And the reversions, the relative volume was extremely heightened here, as you can see. Again, this is delayed data now because I see it sucks, but right there. So this whole move, you can see the relative volume. I mean, you don't want to be taking these Gex trades or the reversion trades. The Gex trades and reversion trades are incredible 80 to 90% of the time. Well, the other 10% of the time, the big money's coming in here having to get their stuff done, and you don't want to be hoping the market reverts or these dealers hold the market when it touches these levels, because the big money is going to run them over. So say no. And again, I did this yesterday. I shouldn't have done it. I usually find my rules pretty well, and that's all I ever preach. You have your trading rules and you follow them. Yesterday was a different scenario where the market was coming down at Gex levels, the ES, and there was an event, and I wanted to take the reversion, and I kept hearing the hero going off. We were hitting tick extremes to the downside. Usually that means a reversal. So I took the trades, even though there was heavy relative volume, and guess what happened? I got crushed on them. I mean, I caught one at the end, but the point is, your life will be much easier if you just stay away from reversion trades and sexy Gexies on heavy relative volume moves.
There are still uncertainty on U.S. tariff policy and how the nation's role.
Boy, I can't believe they're talking about tariffs. Well, that's the first time for everything. I mean, every 5 minutes for 3 weeks, there has been a tariff news headline. And like I said, the market reacts to them like it's the first time it's being said. It's just crazy. You just got to hope. It's just tough for trade guys right now. It's like you just got to hope you're not on the wrong side of the tariff talk. All right, so anyway, that was nothing there. I may have been able to combine these stop runs down here right into these Gex levels. Let's see, this was, yeah, I could have definitely. So you can see here, this was close to threshold right here. This is 400. I just missed all this, but 423 right after that. There's 600 right there. So what I could have done is something like this. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, but just to show you guys. So these were sell stops.
Says that we'll make decision on monetary policy.
Would have done something like that. This looks like, and the relative volume at the lows here was dying down. So you could have taken this. This is, look how good this was. I hope my trading room got this one. Wow. So again, you had to be alert because it didn't draw. I missed it because it didn't announce and didn't draw. But look at this. Gex level, Gex level, Gex level. You jump in right in the middle of the zone, off the charts. So this was a whopper that I missed. I really hope my trade room caught this. This was a 45-point move from the low. This is one of the only trades where I'll jump in right when the zone fires off. So the minute I hear the zone, if we're at a Gex level, as long as there's not heavy relative volume, I jump in. So let's just see. So I want to jump out a window right now if I miss this 45-point move. It was heightened. So, that worked. But I'm telling you, in the long run, you're going to get your head ripped off if you're fading with this kind of relative volume. What is this relative volume? This is just showing me the exact time period for the last 30 days at this exact time period. It's very important, but it helps you understand, hey, there's something bigger going on here, right? So you can see this whole move was that. So, you should have stayed away from that one, but that's the definition of the trade, and that was a huge move. Wow. All right, so whatever, missed it. I didn't, I had to drop manually. I still have not been filled on this Nasdaq Barker Lick long. It's just doing nothing now. So again, the other thing I talk about all the time, which is everything I do, guys, is just literally common sense. I am the simplest trader you're going to meet. If anybody knows my backstory, I made millions of dollars at one time, and this is not glory days. This is, it's what have you done for me lately in this business? But what I'm trying to get at is I made millions of dollars by staring at this at the time, the dome, depth of market. That's all I did. I didn't even have charts up, and made $15 million in 3 years for myself and my trading firm, right? Why am I telling you that? Because if I can make $15 million just staring at this, it doesn't get much simpler, right? I just figured out the patterns at the time with this. You can't do it anymore because of that, because these algos whipsaw you to death. Trust me, if I can make $15 million right now staring at this, I'd be doing it. That's why scalping is so hard. Off the dome, all you dome traders that think you have some edge, it's very, very, very difficult. And I was one of the best in the world at one time. Again, if I can't do it, I'm not saying somebody can't do it somewhere. It's very, very difficult, and it's it's a young man's game too. Like, I'm worn out from position trading at the end of the day, let alone watching. I used to sit in my office for 9 hours a day straight, just staring at this stuff, right? So what I'm getting at is it doesn't get much simpler trading than just staring at the dome. So everything I do is very, very simplistic and straightforward. Right, and that's the way I like it. The people that struggle the most become traders, professional traders, are the ones that have to have an answer for every move, that are too smart for their own good. Like they'll get I just love this example too. Like, we were talking about ATR, right? So you can see the ATR here on this chart. So this was a couple years ago. There's a guy in my room, and I could spot him a mile away now. But at the time, the guy's like, why don't you have a subset moving average of the 5-minute ATR average, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, because you don't need it. Like, why do you need to complicate something that doesn't need to be complicated? So that's what I'm getting at. So this is a long story for what I was going to show you, right? So it's very, very, this is one of the best edges, and we don't actually have a trade for this yet, but we will. This is a better example here, right? When you get these ridiculous quick down moves with huge relative volume coming in, what do you think is happening here? Somebody's unloading. Well, somebody's buying them, right? Somebody's on the other side. They have the passive bids in, and somebody's getting killed. Well, imagine this is you. Say your trading firm gave you 10,000 contracts, and you bought here, you bought here, you bought here, bought here, bought here. What are you feeling down there? And say you held on. Say you can lose $10 million in a day, and you're at like minus 8 million, and you're like, oh my God, I'm talking from experience, right? You're like, please God, I'll never do that again. Please just come back so I can get out of this trade. So many times these markets, when you see these quick moves that traders don't have any time to like play games and hope it comes back, they're all run over, they're all holding their breath. It'll come halfway point back up the big move, and then that's where it stalls and then starts back down again. Why? Because these traders that held on say, oh, thank God, let me out. And that's the same concept with the A+ reversion trade that we talk about. The traders are loaded up. When it comes back, let me out. So the point is, as this comes back into this stuff, any shorts I get are going to, I'll probably trade double-sized shorts just because I know there's a ton of traders that are underwater here still. It did come back pretty significantly, halfway point, surprise. This one did more. But ES did more. But the point is, any shorts back into these zones are great shorts, right? Back into any areas above. And you can see this thing is struggling. And you can see I never got filled on this. This is why I demand the market push outside of the ATR to fill my trade. I never put this on yet, my long. It's still there. I'll keep it there unless this violates to the downside. So bigger picture too, I missed this trade just because stuff was going on. This keeps happening in these markets. Failed balance breakouts. It's all we talk about in the room. It's the best position trade in trading. What's a failed balance breakout? What's a balance area? Balance area is just two-sided trade where traders are placing bets for days sometimes for weeks, months. When the market tries to break out, all along they're like, yeah, I got it. Oh, wait. Oh, crap. Oh, I got to get out of this, right? So that's the best. Again, how simple is that to think about? It doesn't get much simpler. Traders are, the shorts are caught. They're about to puke. It comes back. The shorts are like, oh, okay, I'm cool. The longs are like, wait a minute, I thought this was going to go. Oh, no, get me out, right? So this one, failed balance breakout. It did move pretty significant that day. Tried to build another balance. What did that do? Failed balance breakout. Gone, right? This was a little guy. What did that do? Failed balance breakout. This one did break out. What happened? Failed balance breakout. Yesterday it held. It didn't get killed. So I was saying this morning, I'm like, well, this, So another way you can look at these for thesis, when something should happen, that usually happens, right? And it doesn't. This one didn't really go far. It usually moves multiples the other way. This one tried to hold, and then what'd you get again? Failed balance breakout, and you got the big move. It's back here again. But the point is, that was a huge move, and I missed this trade, so that's the best trade. I should have been short any event at near 2100. You jump in right away, and I could have caught a 200-point move here to the low. Not saying I would have been out of the exact low, but you get the gist. Let's see where that was. The stuff was just happening so fast, and I got run over on that first sexy Gexy I shouldn't taken. I didn't have time to put this on, but that was right around, what did I say, 21,200? Yeah. That was this event right here. So if I ever caught this, excuse me, that event, as soon as it got through that high volume of that balance and the failed balance breakout, you jump in, first move out, that was that line at the time, you catch this move. And it was quick. Like you were like singing zippity doo dah out your, you know what, straight down. And you could have got some at some of these GEX levels. I mean, and also, this is a great example, right? The big money was unloading here. How did these GEX levels, these dealers are still hedging here. Did you get any bounce? No. Did you get a bounce? No. This one still went through it significantly. You didn't get a bounce here either. So the point is, watch relative volume, but that was a great failed balance breakout trade. All right, see if you guys got questions. I've been chirping. Can we look at current time frame, please? I just went over current time frame. DK. So, you know, any of these zones or areas coming back, so I look at different areas. We got the inflection zones, the Izzy zones, right? So I don't have, I'm trying to see if you can put one in here. No. So I don't have anything right here for it's a short for an inflection zone. There's one here, there's one here. They adjust, stuff happens throughout the day. I'll put a new one in, but there's nothing here for me to short that. That doesn't mean there's not something with the Ludwig level or market profile composite. Again, going over my important levels. This would be a pick. Well, this needs to be merged. I lost my merge when I switched the data provider. What's this? So if this well, I can't take it off of this event, right? Because this most recent event is bullish. But say I got a bearish event here. This is the definition of a pick. Profiles encourage. Market profile composite. You saw me merge those days. Then I draw the merge. This is the value area where 70% of the trade occurred for those 2 days or however many days that you merge. You get the event at the bottom of that. That's a pick trade, right? Or say I got inside, came back, you got an event that was bullish. Pick trade. Actually, this may be a pick trade. Let's see here. Pick long. The markets are just doing nothing now. You know, they look like it's going to be the best trading day ever, and then now it's just stop trading. This was 21.69 to 51.75. No, so what? This is delayed too, right? That's the problem. So that was the zone was below here, so I wouldn't have taken a pick. You know, so here's the event. I know this is confusing because this damn thing's delayed now, right? Yeah, your entry would have been inside here. So if it did this, and it got back in here again, I would probably take the pick along with the bark and the lick, right? So I'll probably take that, but this thing may be adios. And we had here a different strategy. I didn't take this either. I don't know if that's actually it. Yeah, it's not it, but we have called the hot knife through butter strategy. It's not the best trade. It's not the highest percentage trade by any means, but you know, we've been talking all day about ATR, right? Well, when the market hits an ATR, comes back, hits the ATR, actually hits the ATR again, and can't go, it's telling you something is up. When it gets back, so this is one of our entries where you can jump in right when it breaks the zone. This is a better risk reward, right? So if I was going short on my position trades, you know, I'm not off of this event because it was bullish. For those trades, I wouldn't be getting in until here. Well, the hot knife through butter, ATR tried, no. ATR tried, no. Actually, yeah. Jump in right when it breaks the zone, the 10% of an ATR below that yellow line there, and then just use your traditional stop. So you can see it's a much better risk reward. I'm saving myself 60 points from my entry. I didn't put this there. Might as well put it on. Why not? I can't pass up a short. And we got another number coming out here, so I probably shouldn't be putting this on at all. But and I just chased it, so that was not good either. I told you there's a camera in my office, guys. There's proof. I guarantee someone's always watching me. When I say something, then they run the market against me. Just kidding, but that's what it feels like for 25 years. Anyway, I should have been in right here. not down here. Just cost myself 30 points. Stop goes here. So I got a knife through butter on. That comes up. This still is not proven overall a bearish event, but this is just a different strategy that we use. It's not the best trade. If this does tag this ATR below, my longs that I had working up here are disqualified. We got something in Dow at least. Let's see what's going on in there.
10 seconds.
We got that's a Kansas City Fed number, like weird time of day. Kansas City Fed Manufacturing. Let's see what's going on here. All right, this may have been an Izzy. I completely missed this activity here. Let's see.
Still waiting on the data.
I can still probably get in this, by the way. 864. Yep. So this is an Izzy zone, right?
This is $76 billion.
Market came up into this inflection zone that has failed. Here we are again. Volume event that's bearish with sell ice too, by the way. I'm going to combine these two. See the sell ice came in with a bunch of sell ice. You had this wasn't threat. This was not threat. Yeah, it's threshold 151, 74, 77, 113. So I'm going to combine these. Easy bookmap Bob. All right, so I can still take this Izzy short. Wouldn't have been filled yet either. Here's your 1 ATR too, by the way. I don't have the GEX levels on this because they don't populate for some reason. There's some bug. But goodness gracious. So I just took that Nasdaq trade into this number, this weird number in the middle of the day, and this is the response to that number. So you the best you can. You don't want to trade into numbers because it's new information. But I put it on. It is what it is. Anyway, there's your 1 ATR for. I didn't take this obviously, but that worked. It did tag the ATR. This is a bearish event, so I can at least put on an Izzy short in YM and maybe Barks and Licks, depending on Algo guy. Algo guy is not bearish yet, so though that's my filter. It's trying to pull right now. We actually have a trade for when it pulls too. I can't see the relative volume today, so I'm not even going to talk about that trade. So right now, if this comes back, I'm going to go short Izzy. We looked at an inflection zone, 43.767, and everything's in here. I could put on 0.4, so 4 micros. This is to risk $500 because my stop's going to be way up here if I'm wrong. And you can see I have it over here too. You can get the stuff put on this little thing here. 43.767. I could put on 4. No opinion here as far as trading bigger. It's just kind of whipsawing. So doesn't mean I'm not going to trade. I just when my thesis is in line with the volume event, then I trade bigger. That's working. Let's see if there's another area here that I can short. So again, I lost all my merges because I switched data providers again. I'm trying to get real-time data and it's not working. On Sierra chart I'm talking. I could take a pick here, right? So this was a prior one, but the event was there. Let's move it back in here. I'll take that. So I got Izzy and pick shorts. 43.767 YM. All right, we got some CL stuff too. We'll look at that here in a second. So Bark and Lick are not on the table yet. If Algo Guy pulls and some reason it does that, then I'll put on those two. So, but I got Izzy and pick short working. You'll hear if that fills. I got hot knife through butter on here. I'm definitely going to watch, to get out of some of these hot knife through butters. I got in some there and I chased it down a little bit, but I'll get out of some. You got the prior event. These are areas that I am very consistent of piecing out of some of my trade. And you got put support down here. So this comes down here and starts to bounce, and you got spot gamma levels like QQQ and whatever else that is. I'm sure it's related to that. These are the same stuff, right? So if it comes down here and starts to bounce, I'm going to get out of a couple of these. What do I have on? I have 4 on. So I'll probably get out of 2. Because you got a bunch of stuff, it's called confluence, right? You got Another Q put support. You got the QQQ support. You got that spot gamma level, and you got the prior event, which is, that is a very. Remember we talked about traders that are trapped. Anybody who's short who sat through this is like, as it comes back, please let me out. So that's the normal pattern. Let's see. Y'all hear the YM fill? I haven't been filled on that yet. So this is, I don't understand this. I'm looking at my trade room. So Mark, how did you lose on the NQ bark? I was working the same trade and I never got filled. Which bark are you referring to? This is what he just posted. This is what I want, guys. I want people, I get verbal lashings, especially if someone keeps making the same mistakes. It's half funny, half supposed to be memorable. But at least he participates. You come in my room, please participate, or, just don't come in my room, because I want the room to be like a trading firm where everyone's sharing these charts and sharing trades, or hey, look at GC, hey, there's a double whammy in GC, hey, there's an Izzy, blah blah blah. So anyway, he's one of the top guys participating, but I'm still not understanding what bark did you trade here that you lost on. Like, I don't see it. So if you want to explain, I could try to answer it. If not, I'll give you a verbal lashing this afternoon. Not that you did anything wrong, I'm just kidding. But, Algo guy is bearish now, but for this event, it looked like he had another event up here too. I'm not seeing that at all. This is what it was, guys. So actually, I could have taken a trade off this. This is what I'm talking. You got to keep an eye on your markets. This was one contract away from drawing. His drew, right? You saw that. I just posted the chart. This was this event here. So my threshold for NASDAQ is 150. That was 149 here. I still don't know how you put on a bark. Would have put on a bark here, but let's draw this. 149 buy stops. It started there, but this is where it started for real, like bigger size, right? We'll start it right there. So buy stops. We'll see where it ended. We'll adjust the zone. So the zone drawing tool you can obviously draw manually as well, which you're going to need sometimes, like this time. See how it spiked right there? So I'm going to combine that. Spiked a little bit more here too. You can watch it on the bottom, right? So it's at 147. It's only two contracts, but it did spike 149. So I'm going to include that bubble too. You want to go right in the middle of it. I was only drawing these zones wrong for about 6 years until Bruce corrected me. There's another spike. That's the one I was talking about. Because I was drawing them at the edges of the bubbles instead of the middle of the bubbles. There you go. Stuff still worked, but it wasn't exact. Now it's exact. All right, that's that. So I'm just trying to figure out what he did here, how he lost a bark and a bark. This never confirmed to the upside. This was probably an A+ reversion. Yep, there you go. So, yeah, this one was close, right? So remember we were talking about A+ reversions a little bit ago, where you have your reversion entry into or in front of the, as long as into or in front of the prior event. I probably would have taken this if I would have seen the zone, because the entry is right here. It's right at the bottom of this prior one. Plus you're into a GEX3. There's your entry. There's your retest. So you could have taken it back in black. Wasn't really back in black because the entry was just below this, but it's close enough. Especially when you have a prior event. We just talked about confluence. So anyway, that trade worked. Missed it. The bigger thing here is I should have been short off of this. If it comes back, I think this was an Izzy short. That's why you got to keep an eye on your markets. No, there was no Izzy up here. We already looked at that. So I put on hot knife to butter off this guy, but there was a new event, so I shouldn't even have this trade on now, because well, I can, right? So that was that. Tried. I know we were looking at that, right? And then I took it there. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay with this, but this was you're always defaulting in the most recent event. That's that. So there was no Izzy. I still could put this on. I'm just seeing what, because it didn't go too far through here. Seeing if we had a, this was a pick. What did I say, 21080-ish? Yeah, this is a pick. Right, I could put this on right now. So I got on knife through butter on that. Again, I forgot. I didn't even see that drew, but there's your. And this is bark and lick too. What am I doing here? So this comes back and put on pick, bark and lick, short 21.034.50. You can see it right there. I can put on 2. The algo guy, I'm almost certain is bearish. I'll look at. I just don't want to miss this trade. Pick. What did I say? 34.50. Bark, lick, and pick. All right, those are working. What was I going to look at here?
Julio Jackson says there's not enough chips and power to meet AI demand.
I did not put those on yet, though. Right? I should have already been short, but and people always ask me this. They're like, well, if you would have already been short there, why didn't you get in here? You saved yourself 40, 50 points. I just feel like if I missed it and it's up here, I might have got away with the loser, right? So if it comes back now, I will put that on. I did want to check Algo Guy. See what Algo Guy looks like here. Of course, I lost the chart. Where are you at, Algo Guy? Another great platform here, Thinkorswim. You have to channel through 85 charts to find your selected chart. It's a good system. Being sarcastic. But it's free. Remember I said about cutting costs? It's costing me this week with the Sierra chart. Hey, there it is. Let's see. Yeah, Algo Guy's bearish. Barks and licks. That comes back. I'm not short any of those. The only thing I have on a hot knife through butter that actually should have even been put on because we had the new event, like I said. So did not get filled on those. That comes back, I will take that trade. The other thing you can watch for now is a potential hot knife through butter, and this is where I will get out of this, right? ATR, test. ATR, test. Twice, it hasn't gone yet. So if this comes back, I'll get out of my hot knife through butter short, and I'm going to take a hot knife through butter long. Different strategies, guys. I'm working bark and lick. I just haven't been filled on that yet, right? But it's kind of telling you something right now. I'm a day trader. I'm trading what's happening right now. I would love to go short because I want these markets to get absolutely crushed, but it's tried. It's not going. Why? Don't care. I'll get out of my hot knife through butter. Again, this is not the highest percentage trade, but we saw one in gold yesterday that was insanity, and I missed it. I think I screenshotted it. Let's see.
CEA Chair Dick Moran says removing regulations will mean lower prices.
Hold on here. Just to show you the pattern. Again, I always miss the best ones that are just golden. There it is. Oh, is this one pretty good? Did it twice off 2 different events. Did that. I know my room, some guys in my room caught this one. ATR, retest. ATR, can't go. New event. ATR, retest. ATR, retest. Can't go. You're jumping right here off of the page. Right? And your stop, you just use your traditional stop. That's hot knife through butter. That's this guy here. So miss that one again. I don't like straight 300 tick trades. They're boring. I don't like making 300 ticks in 10 minutes. Being sarcastic. Hot knife through butter. HTKB. Take trades off of SI events that attempt 2 or more, 1 or more ATR pluses. So that was 1 ATR, but it could have been 2 or 3. If it keeps trying and doesn't go, it's telling you something. Trade is taken when the market moves back through the zone and tip outside the 10% ATR. That's the yellow line above the zone. Stop is placed in traditional ATR plus 15% on the other side. So this is what I will take here. I'll get out of that. It's about to do it. So I'm going to put my entry and my stop for my first hot knife through butter. We'll put it at 28.25. Guys, I'm telling you, this stuff drives the markets. Like if you can understand how the markets, what they should do at these areas, and understand the rules behind them and the patterns behind them, you got the best edge that I've ever seen. Again, it's my opinion, but that's why you're on the webinar. I would think to listen to my opinion. I'm telling you, I don't care what you're using, you can make it 10 times better, stronger, if you're using this information because it drives markets. All right. So I'll get out a hot knife. Again, I shouldn't even put that on because there was a new event, but it doesn't matter. I got away with not putting on other shorts. So, or did I do? I didn't do anything in YM here either, did I? Not yet. Yeah, so this did tag it to the tick. So guys, this is I don't have anything short here, right? It's ripping back up. I never got short, right? Yeah, all I got on is a hot knife through butter. If it came back, I was going to put on Barclay. So nothing doing there either. This is not a hot knife through butter for YM because it only tested it once. But if it tested it again and couldn't go, then you can jump in right there and put your stop there. So hopefully you're not confused. I'm moving from strategy to strategy, but this is the point. Like you pick. So I know I go over this every week. We'll go over the rest of this stuff too. All right, I got stopped out of the first one. Again, I shouldn't even put that on, and I just got long hot knife through butter NASDAQ. The bark and licks are canceled though, right? Because why? Remember I was working a bark and lick off of this dude and never got filled on it? Well, this most recent one was a bearish event, so I can't put on those original bark and licks. So I got to get those out of the order book because I'll forget, and then I'll look over and see I'm down $1,000. That's my MO. Very quiet now, very algo-ish after the paper unloaded. All right, so this is a great risk-reward trade, right? I already got 13 points in it. I'm not going to get out here. I could get if it struggles at this blind spot, enter Q. I can get out of one if I wanted to. We'll see. We'll see what happens up there. What else was I going to show you guys? Forgot. All right, so I posted this in Discord and there. This is all the stuff I use. There's the drawing tool I've been talking about all day, Pro or the normal. So again, the normal is just showing you the basic is just gives you the zone, the ATR, the entry, and the stop. The Pro version gives you all the reversion lines. It gives you the position sizing, right? And it gives you, and you can turn this off too, by the way. So I go over here. This is on the new version. You go to this. You just click on these little guys, and these are all the add-ons here. All right, you go here. I can turn off, leave last zone display always on. Turn it off. That disappears. All right, you can turn off all of this stuff. Like if you don't want to do reversions, you can turn them off, right? So you go over here, hit advanced. You can turn off these reversions, whatever product, the 1, 2, and 3, and all those lines will disappear if you don't want to trade them. I don't know why you wouldn't trade them because they're ridiculously powerful, but to each their own. I could have probably taken it back in black here. I would have been filled with a tick. I didn't remember I drew this manually, so I didn't do anything there. That probably would have been a losing trade. Anyway, this is Zone Drawing Tool. Here's my course. This is where I go over all the stuff that I'm doing as far as the zone drawing, all the different. I have 6 distinct setups, rules around them. It goes over the ATR, it goes over sweeps, it goes over all the the thresholds, everything. You can get this on my website or on the Bookmap marketplace. This gives you the inflection zone. You get this free if you come in my room. You get the spreadsheet in the zone. So the spreadsheet, this is the spreadsheet. You get a different looking one, but it's the same thing. The spreadsheet is the zone drawer. So all the information on the heat map is the spreadsheet. But you want this for days like the zone drawer is not working, or you have this as well as part of my room, or you can go to that site and get it. You can get a subscription to it if you can't get into the room. Here's all my contact info. Website, Twitter, trade room. Do this twice a day, every day. Well, not. Sometimes we skip the afternoon. There hasn't been a good afternoon day trade for about a year. Looks like I missed a trade here. There's a new event here. This is natural gas. The number came out today, but you can see, guys, like this is one of the 6 distinct setups. This was a double whammy. This inherently is a short just on its own. Actually, that tagged the ATR, so I wouldn't have gone short there. But just to know the concept, right? You had buy stops into sell ice. This happened actually really far away from each other. So I wouldn't combine these. You're talking half hour. You want to combine them when they're right on top of each other, but just to show you, what these areas do. And then this is all the stuff I use in my trading. You get discounts to all this stuff. The Bookmap general software, basic software, and then you need the MBO bundle. You have to get this stuff. I hear people groaning, well, you're telling me I got to pay $134. Yeah, guys, that's nothing for what the hell there's some stuff, you see me cutting corners around stuff that I don't need to pay for. This you have to pay for because it gives you the data, right? The MBO data to draw the icebergs and so on and so forth. Mentor Q, discounts to the yearly or monthly. Those are all these. What's great about I use both Spot Gamma and Mentor Q. Love them both. Mentor Q gives you these DEX levels for all these different markets. And Spot Gamma right now only has for the equities and individual stocks. So I want to see them in crude and gold. You'd be amazed. It's going to help clear up a lot of stuff, why these markets do what they do, when you understand, oh yeah, the dealers have to hedge here. Look at that, right? So, and they're great for targets, and we're great for our trades, for the reversion trades, the back in black, sexy gexies. So Mentor Q is awesome as well. I've done a couple webinars with them. One's on my website if you want to go watch it. I think I posted both of them, or you can go to their site too. This looked like it was an A+ version maybe. Again, I drew both of these, but I'm okay with trading them. I just haven't done anything in there. And then, we haven't talked much about the Apex. Apex is the one that I use. I'll just give you a quick look at this, right? So this, again, you guys, if you're learning something new, whether it's mine or anything else, you are much better off learning with this, where, a lot of guys can't trade on sim because they don't care if they lose. Well, with this, at least you have some skin in the game, and you don't have to put in, you don't have to lose $3,000 if you're wrong. You don't have to lose an account. You just lose what you put in. So use my code Pulcini 50 gives you 80. I think the current sale is 80% off, and then you get whatever. So I have most of mine are the 150s, where you got to make $9,000 before you lose 5, but it's a trailing threshold. Right. So what I was going to show you here. So these are all the different. I assign each strategy. So these are the ones as they go live, and I trade them live. But these are the ones that I'm trading, right? So a couple of them are. You're gonna have drawdowns and everything, right? But the point is, for a $5,000 account, and I'm risking $500 a trade, each one of these is, that's up over 100%. That's over 50%, 100%, 50%, 75%, 50%. See what I'm saying? So these amounts don't look big, but I'm only risking $500 a trade, and this is each one of these trading strategies, right? And then the ones that have gone live are these, all right? So these are like, one of them's, this one just went live. This is the fail balance breakout. And then this one is the Bark and Lick. This one, no, this is Bark and Lick for equities. So we're talking about Bark and Lick, and then these are the sexy gexies and the reversion trades. So this one's close. You saw that one. That one's up to $5,000. This one's close to getting payout territory. So the guys in my room have been using this for years too. Many payouts. They pay like they say, right? So, and they're trying. So this one's up to $5,000. They're trying to get the CME once they're cut, right? So all these, they have this loophole in the trading law that you can trade. It's like funded simulation, right? So they basically are backing the trade until they put you live or whatever. It's legal. They all do it. But the CME doesn't get their commissions on that. So what do you think is going to happen with that? You think that's going to stick around? No, it's not going to stick around because CME wants their cut because it's their data, right? So the ones that are going to be remaining when this does go live, they're trying to get you to a point where you're not blowing out your count. You get paid. So before, if you're up $5,000, like on that $150,000 account, you could pull out $4,500. Well, that only gives you $500 to work with, and guys would blow out their count. So they don't want to be giving people $4,500 on a live account, and then they get in there and they lose $3,000 the next day, type of thing, right? So anyway. They are preparing for the move to live, and there's a dime a dozen right now, these companies, and they're going to shrink because not many of them can actually put up the money for each trader to trade live, the margin. See what I'm saying? So what do I mean by that is, you go to a thing like, answer this one to kind of look at. They all have margin, right? But so if you go to see your selected margin, so you can imagine a trading firm doing this for every single trader, right? So if you're trading day trade, CES. Let's go to just the regular contract, right? So if you're day trading, say you're live, you're day trading the E-mini ES, you got to have, it's only $400 to day trade. If you trade overnight, for every contract you trade, you got to have $16,000 in your account, $17,000 in your account. NASDAQ, $25,000, and they move these back and forth depending on the volatility and the numbers coming out. But even day trading, for every big contract you trade NASDAQ, you have to have $1,000 in your account. So you can imagine if one of these trader funding firms, they have 1,000 traders, well, they've got to have, hundreds of millions of dollars to back for the margin to back their traders, right? So that's why they're, these firms are starting to get wise, like, okay, we got to make sure that these traders aren't just blowing our money, right? But Apex is the one I use. I talk about it every week. Use Pulcini 50 for any sale they got, and it's the best way to learn, so you're not blowing your own money when you don't know what you're doing. I mean, I got guys in my room that have been in there for a month or more. They still don't know what they're doing overall, right? And the one guy, it was about a month ago, he was in there for like 3 days, and he's trading like 3 ES off these strategies, and he wasn't doing it correctly. And the volatility was like, the ATR was like 10. I'm like, dude, you can drop 20 grand on that. Like, what? So, and he didn't know what he was doing. So the point is, learn what you're doing with those things, and there's an upside. So if you do learn and you do well, you're funded anyway, and you don't have to risk your own money. So that's what I do, and that's what I assign all these strategies to. All right, see if there's any questions before I hop off here. Dominique, Bookmap is giving me issues as well. Sudden moves are disconnecting my service. It's not Bookmap unless you're using Bookmap data, and you probably should, eventually I'm going to be using Bookmap data because I'm sick of the rhythmic nonsense, the freezing. But the freezing is, if you've got 1,000 indicators on your chart, then it's going to probably freeze, but it's mostly due to rhythmic issues, not Bookmap. So, but Bookmap had, and that's the other thing too, guys, if you want the Bookmap data, that's the only other service that has the MBO data. You don't get it on the marketplace. Go to their main site, right, and then go to is it features or pricing? Features. No. More. Sorry. Go to more. Bookmap market data, and they got a stale. This is the cheapest one you can get too right now. $79 for the bundle. Meaning the bundle just gives you all these different exchanges which you want. I mean, they're all under the CME umbrella, but you want all of these, and they do have someone was saying they didn't have them in the room in my Discord the other day. They do have MBO data for the CBOT, the NYMEX, the COBEX. These are all, CME is the umbrella, owns all of these. They're the umbrella, so you get them all with the bundle. And you want them all because you don't want to be missing opportunities. You don't want to just be staring at ES and NQ all day when you hear all this other stuff firing off. That's opportunity everywhere, right? We haven't traded much anything else today, but all right, so I did put on the hot knife through butter here. Again, like I said, guys, this trade is not the strongest trade. I was fine putting it on. But if it comes down here and stops me out, it stops me out. I can still put on, if the algo guy is bearish, I'm still putting on my Bark, Lick, and Pick. This never confirmed to the upside, right? Let's take a look. The algo guy's bullish right now, but by the time I got to my fill, it's going to be pulling again. So it's starting to get choppy with the algo guy too. But I'll put on Bark. I'll still put on those Bark and Lick. Those are working, right? If it comes back, here's my entry. Shorts. And then I still have the YM shorts working too, as long as that volume event didn't turn bullish. Yeah, these are working too. I think I could put on, let's see if I can put on Bark and Lick here. Yeah, this is starting to pull too. Again, this is my filter, algo guy we call it. This is about to pull too. It's just an exponential moving average. You can get all the settings for it in my room. I'm going to put on Bark and Lick here now as well. 43,769. We are coming to a very, very bad time of day, guys. 10:30 to 12:30. You are so much better off just stepping away from your desk. Do as I say, not as I do. I just can't pass up shorts because these markets need to get absolutely destroyed, and I can't wait till it happens. But when you start trading this time of day, I've lost millions and millions of dollars trading between 10:30 and 12:30. Like I say all the time, I used to have to physically remove myself from the office so I wouldn't trade at this time period. All right, so I'll put on Bark and Lick here too. You're just asking why is that? Because the big money starts to go to lunch. The big money that has control, and when they trade, it pushes the markets with these big moves. The algos start taking over at this time period. So you got algos, now you got the newest game in town, we haven't even talked about it today, is the hero, right? They start pushing the hero around, and they load up options dealers, and dealers have to turn around and hedge, right? If I can find the damn thing, right here. So this, keep an eye on this. This is Spot Gamma. This is incredible. Spot Gamma, use code words or the coupon code Scott. You get 2 weeks for free. You can check this out. We haven't even looked at this today. Very important information though. So the usual game is it'll start to die down, and then it's usually the upside too, and nothing's going on, and all of a sudden this thing will spike like 3 billion, right? And it's such a great strategy to manipulate. I wish I actually knew about this when I was a scalper, because say you're out of bullets or you don't want to buy a bunch of futures, you just load up the options dealers with options. They're short. They got to turn around and hedge the futures. So you're making them buy the futures. You see what I'm saying? So keep an eye on that this time of day. It's the newest game in town. Back in my day, there was a couple big traders that would just start to manipulate. And just like the algos start to do this at this time of day, because they know there's no one in here doing anything because the big money's is at lunch. Not that there's some days like yesterday, the relative volume was heightened at this time period. But overall, you're going to save yourself a lot of money and anguish trading at this time of day. All right, let's see if there's any other questions. I'll hop off here. Can we look at the current time frame? I look at the current time frame. It's a tick data time zone. It's curious. He's in my trade room. 10:30 to 12:30 Central. So basically right now until 12:30. It doesn't mean you can't trade. I mean, and especially if you see heavy relative volume coming in, then you can be like, okay, I'm willing to trade this. Overall, though, it's just you're asking, and I'm talking every product. Look, we did a test. This was about a year ago now. Like my moderator and a couple other traders, they use Trader Sync, which is on this as well, right? You get discounts to that too on here. That's this thing here. So they were putting all their trades in, and it gives you all the stats. Every one of their products was a loser between 10:30 and 12:30. I'm talking soybeans, gold, crude. So I'm just telling you, it's not a bad idea. Plus, you refresh too. It's not a bad idea just to say 10:30, going to work out. I'll be back here at 12:30 for the afternoon trade, even though the afternoon trade sucks for a while now too. You're just going to save yourself a lot of money, is what I'm telling you. If I would have done that, I don't even want to know how many millions of dollars more I'd have to my name. Not that I have any millions right now, but guys, and that's why it's such a great story, right? Like, I'm showing you that I was rags to riches. I was $1 million trader, back to rags, just stopped working overnight. My method of trading, remember I talked about the gnome trading, and now I'm on my upswing back, right? So it just shows you the perseverance. And if you have an edge, like you never quit, you keep, look, I never quit, right? To a fault sometimes. But now I have an edge, and I know once it scales up, I can be making, have $50,000 a day, like I averaged in 2003. 2003, I averaged $50,000 a day every single day for the entire year average, right? Didn't make $50,000 every day. I averaged that. This is all scalable. If you can make it with a 1 lot, you can make it with a 10 lot, you can make it with a 100 lot. You just need the backing. But you see what I'm saying? So get really good at it, know what you're doing, and then you can take you can even take your Apex results to a trading firm and say, this is what I did. Will you back me? And you may get backing, right? If you want to go that route. All right, I'm out. Do this every day in my trade room. Come on over, learn what you're doing, learn how to do it for yourself, and I will see you guys next Thursday. Thank you.